It's a new day. Christmas is over. Got some questions here. Let's get it on.
DreAllDay.com.
What up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Today is Friday, December 26, 2014. I hope everyone had an enjoyable Christmas holiday season, whatever holiday that is you celebrate. If you're still celebrating, I hope you're having a good time. This is the Q&A. For those of you who don't know how this works, what I do is look at the questions from the previous week's Q&A as I post this every week on Saturday. You're going to be watching this on Saturday, December 27th. I record it every Friday. So Friday, I cut off all the comments and I answer every question that's posted in the comments from the previous week's video. Being that the video you're watching right now is Q&A number 50, I am responding to questions, comments left in Q&A number 49. Thusly, if you want me to respond to or answer a question you have, you leave it in the comments to this one, Q&A 50. And next week in Q&A 51, I'll respond to your question as long as you ask me something of substance. So we're going to get right into this. As always, I have not looked at any of these comments yet, so I don't know what I'll be asked. I'm reading these off for the first time. At the exact same time, I'm actually responding to them. So we're going to get into it. Without further ado, first question comes from Mr. Eduardo Cruz. He says, Dre, what playlist do I need to watch to learn how to finish around the basket? Well, Eduardo, first of all, you got to give me some more context. What do you mean by finishing around the basket? If you just want to learn how to make a layup, then you can do the miking drill and the reverse miking drill. Those aren't playlists. That's just two separate videos, which of course, any video, any drill I mention, I have posted here on YouTube. So I'm not going to have to keep saying that every time. So the miking drill and the reverse miking drill, if you don't know about it, any of you players who don't need to learn how to make a layup, miking is M-I-K-A-N. Learn how to do that drill. Every basketball player should be able to make 20 layups in a row without missing in the reverse miking drill and the regular miking drill. And if you miss, then you start over until you make 20 in a row. That's just a guarantee. If you can't make a layup, you can't play basketball. So Eduardo, to finish around the basket, you would do that. If you're talking about a game-specific contextual situation, you would have to be a little bit more specific as to what you're talking about. And the way you break it down is this, Eduardo. First of all, ask yourself, what is the situation in the game that is giving you trouble and which you're having trouble? The game situation is not giving you trouble. It's just your lack of ability to make things work in the situation is what's giving you trouble. So ask yourself, what is the situation in which the trouble is coming to you? And then what is it you want to be able to do? So the thing is, a lot of players, they talk about the things that they talk vaguely about the things that they want, or they talk about the things that they don't want. You got to get clear on exactly what it is you do want. And once you're clear on what you do want, I can tell you exactly how you can get there if it has to do with developing skill in the game of basketball. I'm an expert at that. So if you have a further question, Eduardo, give me some more context, more detail in the comments in this video. Next one is Leon. Says, Dre, how do you feel about the Rondo trade to the Mavericks? I'm sure many people will ask this since it's been a week since the last Q&A. I think it's a good gamble by Mark Cuban and the Dallas Mavericks. Rondo, obviously, he's better than any of the players they gave up to get him. So if you are the team that's getting, whenever two teams trade, whoever's getting the best player out of whoever's involved, whoever ends up with the best player out of that trade, I think they win the trade, in my opinion, depending on how much you give up, of course. But you trade 4 quarters for $1. It's better to have $1 than to have 4 quarters, in my opinion. So I think Rondo is a good try by Mark Cuban to see what Dallas can do. They're still kind of getting acclimated, everybody, because there's not enough basketballs to go around with a guy like Rondo, who's a ball-dominant point guard, who's not an outside shooter. So he has to have a ball in his hands. So you got guys like Chandler Parsons, Dirk, and Monte Ellis. They were playing very well. At least Monte was playing very well. I thought he was on his way to All-Star, at least so far, up until the Rondo trade happened. So I want to see how well he plays, because he had a great game the first game when Rondo played. But is he going to keep playing like that every game with Rondo? Who knows? I want to see how they end up doing, but I think it just makes it even more interesting in the Western Conference, especially with all the talent out there, all the very good teams out there. We'll see what happens. That's all I can say about the Rondo move. Walter Tinsley Jr. says, how do I put power into my jumper? My shot always falls short, and I want to increase my range and take it to the rack with no problem. Since the players and coaches study me, they're starting to sag off. Please help me get power in my jumper. Well, Walter, I don't understand what you mean by getting power in your jumper. Is it that you just can't make jumpers, or is it that the ball is not making it to the basket? So if the ball's not making it to the basket, what you need to do is the Ultimate Athlete program, which is 15 weeks off the court training specifically for basketball players. You can get that program at hoophandbook.com. I'm going to put an annotation over one of my shoulders here for the actual Ultimate Athlete program, and it'll also be in the video description. You can just go to the site hoophandbook.com. If your issue is the ball not making it to the basket, now if the issue is you not making shots, then you already know what you need to do, right, Walter? You just need to get on the court, put yourself in the spots and situations in which players are not defending you because they know you can't make it, and keep shooting it until you do make it. And then once you do make it, keep shooting it so you keep making it. Next question, the Play R says, Dre, my shooting motion inside the three-point line is very consistent. However, when I try to shoot threes, my shooting motion changes. I shoot plenty of air balls, similar to the previous question. He says, how can I develop a shot that's accurate and consistent from anywhere on the court? And he said he thinks the Q&As, I messed up the numbers because there were two number 49s. Well, the player, thanks for pointing out the Q&A miscue. If that happens to be accurate, then we just gonna roll with it. And I might have to name this one Q&A 51, whatever. But anyway, he says his shot is not consistent outside the three-point line because obviously the player, he's not strong enough to get the ball to the basket from the three-point line. The first thing you can do, player, depending on your situation, if you're playing in games right now and you're shooting air balls and threes, what you need to do is stop shooting threes and play to your strengths. Because I'm sure you watch basketball, there are plenty of players who don't shoot many threes who are still effective players. Just because the three-point stripe is right there painted on the court doesn't mean you got to stand behind it and try to shoot. You don't have to shoot the ball from right there. You can choose to. You don't have to. Nobody has to shoot threes. Now, if you want to add the three-point shot to your game, but you don't have the power to get the ball up there with the normal motion which you like to shoot the basketball, what you need to do is increase your total body strength, because shooting is not a single muscle activity. It's not the wrists, it's not just the legs, it's not just the biceps, it's not the back, it's not the abs, it's not the fingers, it's everything. Shooting is a total body movement. If you watch a video of someone shooting a jump shot in slow motion, you see their whole body is working. Their abs, their core, their arms, they're moving their head a certain way so they can angle the shot. Their fingers are working, their hands are working, their calf muscles are working, their ankles have to flex. You need power in the feet, your toes are flexing. Everything's working when you shoot a shot. So it's not one particular muscle, it's your total body strength that needs to increase. So two programs I recommend for you is the Ultimate Athlete and the strength training program, which is called Position of Power. Position of Power, difference with that program is that it's specifically for people who have access to a weight room and gym equipment like weights, bands, maybe a medicine ball, things like that. For those of you who have no equipment whatsoever or don't even go to a gym, you can do the Ultimate Athlete at home in your basement. Next question. Dante Washington says, he asked about the Rondo trade. I've already addressed that. I'm sure many people will ask that in addition. Ahmed Masood says, you ever hit a game-winning shot in a pro game? And if so, could you describe the moment? I don't think I ever hit a game-winning shot in the program. I've hit a lot of good shots, but I don't think I ever hit a shot that was the shot that won the game. Next question. Martin Ivanov says, happy holidays. Thank you, Martin. Happy holidays to you. Danny K says he loved the hat that I wore last week. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Danny. Merry Christmas to you, even though it's over. Chris Legaspi says, Dre, if you had to pick, which position would you say is most important in basketball, offensive and defensive? There is no one position that's most important. There are 5 players on the court, and the reason I say that, Chris, is because every player on the basketball court can do anything. Whereas if you look at a game of football, American football, the quarterback's the one who throws the ball. The running back's not usually going to throw a pass, and the wide receiver is usually the one who runs routes and tries to catch it. The offensive linemen are the ones blocking, and the defensive linemen are trying to get through the line. Each player has a specific role which they cover based on the position they play in football. And there are some roles that, based on your position, when you're on the field, you're not allowed to do other things. For example, an offensive lineman can't catch the snap and throw a pass. That would be, I believe that would be illegal. Or offensive lineman can't run 10 yards down the field and get open and try to catch the ball from the quarterback. I know that would be illegal. They call it illegal man downfield or something like that. So in football, there are certain positions in which you cannot, no matter what you want to do, you are not allowed by the rules to do things. On defense, the defensive player can't run across and catch the ball and throw a pass because you're on defense. Y'all understand what I'm saying? If you understand American football, each position has a specific role. Whereas in basketball, any player can do anything. Like if the point guard he's down in the paint and he wants to post up against the opposing point guard and catch a pass and do a hook shot, he can do that. That's not against the rules. If the center on the team, if DeAndre Jordan grabs a rebound and he wants to dribble the ball up the court through his legs, if he's capable of doing it, he can do it. It's not against the rules. So in basketball, any player can do anything, whereas in other sports, there are certain positions which you can't do things. For example, in soccer, a goalie is the only person who can touch the ball with their hands, right? If any other player touches the ball with their hands, then there's some kind of violation that's taking place. In basketball, anybody can do anything. So my answer is there is no one position that's most important. The most important thing is to have good players who can play. Next question is Babyface Assassin. It says, do you think a coach would have injury concerns if you wear knee sleeves like Kyrie Irving wears and Derrick Rose wear to a tryout? And he says, could I make a Nick Young hoop handbook? Nick Young, maybe. But as far as the other thing, he says, do I think a coach will have injury concerns if you have on knee sleeves like Kyrie and Derrick Rose? Well, Babyface Assassin, I think you answered your own question. You see Kyrie and Derrick Rose wearing them in games. Does anybody think they have injury concerns? I see damn near half the players, 60% of the players I see playing on TV wear something on their knees, some type of sleeve, a pad, something covering their knees or covering their arms. So no, and you already know the answer to that question. Next question. KB Titan says, my last pickup game, I played with some 12th and 11th graders, so I guess he's younger. He said he scored a good number of points. He dominated. Thanks for the advice. Well, I'm glad. KB Titan, congratulations. And he says, he asked me about a starting five. I've already made videos on that, KB, so we're not getting into that. Eshwar Tangirala says, Dre, I had a bad game last night, only had 6 points. It was our first loss of the season, but his issue is that he can't go up and down the court for 4 quarters because his legs get tired, and he can't produce anything when he's tired. Do I know any conditioning drill that could possibly help him with this? Yeah, Eshwar, you can do suicides. And if you're on a basketball team, I'm sure your coach has conditioning drills. Why don't you ask him? And you can also check out the conditioning hoop handbook at hoophandbook.com. So yes, I do have drills. I have something better. I got an entire program. Next question. Maniac Mizuto says, if you play in the NBA and you can play with one person on your team, who would it be? I'll probably pick either Michael Jordan or Shaq. Next question. Derrick Rose says, thanks for answering my question. I played against some bully at my rec center full court in a 4-on-4 game, and he said he read the mental guides on my website, which is at the guides and tips page. My website is dreallday.com if you don't know. He said it helped. He dominated the guy, he killed him, and he clapped on him, which is like when you make a layup and smack the backboard. I'm from Philly, we do that too. He said he's from Brooklyn, that's what they call it, clapped on him on a fast break. So congrats, Mr. Rose. Next question. Master Nizuma says, you are starting the team. Who would you prefer to have as a centerpiece, Derrick Rose or Russell Westbrook? Just between those guys, I'd probably pick Westbrook just because he's had less injury history. They both got injured, but if I'm going to pick one as an investment, I'll go with the guy who's been injured less, and I'll go with Westbrook. Next question. Charles McLeod says, I'm left-handed and I can't shoot threes. Do I have any tips? Yeah, start practicing. Next question. Alian Ahmed says, who is my basketball inspiration? Do you have videos on splitting double teams like a Wade or Westbrook? Keep up the good work. My basketball inspiration, nobody. I'm my own inspiration. As far as splitting double teams, yes, I have a video on it, a tutorial called Splitting Double Teams, Splitting the Trap, Split Dribble Move. I have a tutorial posted on that, and I got about, I'd say 20 to 30 drill videos posted that are designed for splitting in between defenders. So you need to just look that up. Next question, the Beast Mod. How can I become the next Dre Baldwin? You can't. There's only one. I'm the only one. When I'm gone, there'll never be another. Next question, Taylor Porter says, after a hard practice or game or workout, my body aches. I ice my knees afterwards all the time, but is it also good to take a hot bath or an ice bath to recover? Well, Taylor, it depends on what you consider to be good. Good is a very relative term. So when somebody says, is it good to do this? I can't answer that because what I consider good is not the same as what you consider good, and my body is not your body. So the only way you're gonna find out what's good for your body is to try something and do it. So you're asking about a hot bath or an ice bath. What's stopping you from trying it? Next question. AJ Gill says, do you have any tips on being more aggressive and for getting into the zone? Yes, you can read my books, The Mental Handbook and The Mirror of Motivation. And actually, Those are both available on Amazon, and you could also check out another book about that. It's called Relentless by Tim Grover, which is really good. Next question. And also I got videos on that. If you go to my website, click on the skills link, which is under the basketball page. Website again, dreallday.com. There's a link that says the mental game and motivation, the mental game. Click on that and you'll see a bunch of vids I have on that. And you can also read all the stuff I wrote about that. Marco Jefferson says, I'm a 17-year-old senior. I was wondering if it would be better to play 17 unders or 19 unders, which team he plays on in AAU season. He wants to know if either will help him walk on to a college next year. I'm a 6'1" point guard. He has the talent to compete. He just has ran into a lot of politics in high school. Well, Marco, I guess if high school's over and you're looking towards the future, which one is better between the under 17 and under 19? That's hard for me to say. Again, it's the same as somebody asking me, is this good? You have to decide what's better. What is it that you want to achieve? So you got to, first of all, for any players who also have similar questions, because I get asked this a lot, players ask, should I play for this team or that team? First of all, what is it that you want? When you're clear on exactly what you want, then it's easy to make decisions. The reason a lot of people can't make decisions and they want to ask so many questions, they want to poll everybody, should I do this or that or the third, because they have no idea what they want. So LaMarco, you have to figure out what it is you want. Once you know what your ultimate goal is, it will be easy to make decisions because you can ask yourself, okay, I'm here, my ultimate goal is here, so I have this choice between A and B. Which one is going to get me closer to my goal? And it will be clear what the answer is. But first of all, you got to get clear on where it is you're going. Next question. Justin Francois Paul says, what's your most memorable moment during a pickup game like rec leagues you've played in? There's not any one particular moment, but there's a lot of fun moments. Trash talking, scoring a lot of points, maybe getting a dunk, maybe hitting a big shot at the buzzer or something like that. There's no one pickup game moment, though, that I would say is that crazy. If you read my book, Buy a Game, you can read about stuff that I talked about there. Maybe you might pick something out that catches your attention or draws your interest. Next question. Travis says, what's your opinion on Corey Brewer going to the Rockets? Do you think this trade puts them over the top in the Western Conference? No, I didn't even remember that Corey Brewer went to the Rockets, so I don't really have an opinion on it. And do I think it puts them over the top by getting Corey Brewer? Hell no. I think the Rockets have a chance to make it out of the West, as do several other teams, but I don't think that trade alone is the difference between making it and not making it. Next question. Diego Rocha says, you ever had any trouble with chemistry through your career? If you did, do you have any tips? Yeah, I did have trouble with chemistry. When I was in 11th grade, I had this chemistry teacher named Miss Stubbs, and I was failing the class. And then in the last part of the semester, my mom knew I was failing the class. Like, we had 4 report cards. So the third one, I had an F or a D. I think an F. So she told my mom I might fail the class, and if I failed, I would have to take summer school. So my mom, who's a teacher herself, she started making me study with her every day, and then I started getting like 95s, 97s on all the chemistry tests for the rest of the year. And this bitch, Miss Stubbs, still failed me. So I had to take this bullshit ass chemistry class in summer school in Philly. It was the most BS class ever. Only thing you did basically if you failed and had to take summer school in Philly is you had to pay money to take the class. And that's what they benefited from. I didn't learn a damn thing about chemistry. I still don't know shit about chemistry. So Diego, yeah, that was my trouble with chemistry growing up. Next question. JW says, who has the most handles in the NBA? I don't know. It depends on what you consider to be handles. Does it mean highlight moves? Does it mean getting from point A to point B? Because there's 20, 30, maybe even 50 players who can get anywhere on the floor that they want with their handles. Some players who you know are as all-stars and superstars, and there's some guys who sit on the bench and don't play much who can also get from point A to point B. So I don't really have who I would say has the most handles. If I had to pick one person, I'll go with Chris Paul. And of course you got Curry, you got Tony Parker, you got Kyrie Irving, and mostly I think fans go off of what they see in the highlights. But I picked Chris Paul because I know Chris Paul can get from anywhere on the floor to anywhere else on the floor with a live dribble, no matter how you guard him, no matter how many people, even if you try to double him, he can get wherever he wants with a live handle and not have to pick up his dribble. And there's a lot of players you could say that about, but I'll go with Chris Paul. Next question. Stephen Van Bowell says, besides basketball, do you play on the PS4 or the Xbox One or whatever? No, Steven, I do not play video games at all. Next question. Dimitri22100 says, first off, I want to say I love basketball. I think what you're doing with YouTube is pretty cool. Well, thank you, Dimitri. He says, your videos help people of all ages with their games, not just the moves, but the Q&A and the motivation videos as well. Thank you. And he says, I'm 16. I've been playing ball for like 5 months. I tried out for a basketball team a month ago. He got cut. He thinks he did terribly because most of all was conditioning and running and leg workouts, and he's not very physically fit. I understand that. He says he kept dropping the ball when they did passing drills. Can simply practicing basketball by myself make me a better team player and more physical person, or do I need to get others involved? Dimitri, yes, practicing by yourself can make you substantially better. I mean, miraculously, incredibly better. So all you had to do is take the content that you see on my channel, which obviously you know about because you see the drills and stuff that I post. Who do you see me practicing with? Most of the time I'm by myself. So if I can develop game practicing by myself, so can you. That's one of the reasons that I put this stuff out there, so that players know you don't need anybody's help. You don't need anybody to come to the gym with you every day, because honestly, if you get disciplined and you make this into a discipline of putting in the work, working on your game every single day, there is not anyone in your circle who's going to be as dedicated as you. Nobody's going to be as dedicated towards your goal as you are. So if your goal is to get better, understand that you need to be ready to do it by yourself, because in the end you will be by yourself, and in the end you're going to be by yourself way better than all the people who didn't want to do the work. So answer your question, Dimitri, yes, you can do passing drills, dribbling drills, shooting drills, driving drills, whatever it is you want to work on by yourself. If you need specific programs, you can check out hoophandbook.com. I have every single area of the game of basketball covered between that and my website, dreallday.com. And then of course you got 4,000 vids here on this channel to fall back on. Next question. Andy Sketch Talk 23 says, if I want to play at a D3 college or another small college, what are the steps for doing this? Andy, go to my website, dreallday.com, click on the page that says guides and tips. The link that says guides and tips, on that page I have a step-by-step guide for walking onto a college basketball team, which is what I did. So it's coming from experience. Next question. Chris Damian says, I love how blunt you are. Some of these kids definitely need it. Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate you watching. Next, nice Sneak Satsy says, I'm a new subscriber. I have a couple questions that you may have answered in the past. So let's see what he says. He says, I'm starting to play again. My conditioning is not great. What do I recommend for conditioning outside of playing basketball, such as a treadmill, elliptical, bicycle, all of the above? Why not do all three? You can do anything you want as far as conditioning outside of basketball. If you are talking about conditioning without using a basketball, I suggest the conditioning mini handbook, which you don't need a basketball to do it. You can do all the drills. Anything that has a ball, you can just put the ball to the side, do the exact same movements without the ball. His second question says he's looking at an indoor basketball. He thinks about the TF1000 or the Wilson Evolution or the Solution. Which one would I pick, or other ones I would recommend? Nice Sneak, I don't really care what type of basketball. It doesn't matter. Outdoors, as long as the ball feels good to you and is regulation size, which means it's the size of a normal game basketball, which means when you play in a game, it'll be the same size. It doesn't really matter to me. So just pick the one that you like, because the ball that you like that feels best for you, you'll probably dribble it the best, shoot it the best, pass it the best, and make shots the best, which will increase your confidence. So when you get into a game, you'll play better even if the ball is not exactly the same. So increasing your confidence when you work out by yourself is very important. So don't pick a ball that's going to not be good for you, is going to frustrate you because you don't like the ball. Pick the ball that you like so you can build confidence. So when you get in the game, that's just another part of you being a better player. Next question. Big Fat Butt says, do I have a DeMarcus Cousins program? He doesn't see it on the Hoop Handbook website because it's not there yet, but DeMarcus Cousins is definitely coming. The next batch of programs, DeMarcus Cousins will be a part of it. Next question. Just 28 Tasks says, in my book, Buy a Game, which all you can read for free on my website at dreallday.com/buyagame. That's BUYAGAME. He says, you talked about one coach whose idea of training players was yelling at them during the games, etc., etc. He says, in my experience, none of that has changed today because I've been around some coaches personally. I don't know how to feel about that. He wants to ask me, what are my thoughts on hot-tempered, do more yelling than explaining type of coaches? Is it good or bad for basketball in general, and how should one deal with them? I don't really have a general opinion. It depends on how the coach is coaching, because a lot of times we don't know how a coach is coaching other than what somebody says. I would have to actually observe a coach, observe a coach to see what it is he's doing. I can't generalize all coaches just by the fact that they yelled one time, or something happened in a game, or something was public that everybody knew about, or something that a player told me about. In general, if a player's on a team and you have a coach who does a lot of yelling and you feel like they're not really doing a lot of explaining how you can deal with it, is get off the team, go play for somebody else. That's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is talk to your teammates. If you have a teammate who seems to not really be bothered by that coach's style, talk to that player and ask them, what is it that it doesn't bother you? What is it about you that you don't let it get to you? What can I do so it doesn't get to me the same way it doesn't get to you? Or you can let a player know, you can confide in a player if you're closer to any of your players and tell them, hey, it's bothering me the way he talks to me. Can you talk to the coach and let him know that? Coach is usually close with at least a handful, a couple, maybe at least one player on the team. If you can get cool with that player, tell that player, hey, can you talk to the coach and tell him, like, kind of back off me, don't yell at me so much, or ask that player, hey, what do I need to do so that he doesn't yell at me so much, even if that doesn't work. And worst case scenario, get off the team, go play for somebody else. Next question. Flying Badger says, what is considered a foul when you use your offhand to protect the ball or shield the ball when you're making a layup? And he names a few NBA players, Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose. He sees them do it, but then when he does it, people complain about an offensive foul. This is the thing about fouls and what is a foul, what's not a foul. Understand that officiating in basketball at any level is all a judgment call. What that means is if you do a move in a game and the ref calls walk, or the ref calls foul, or the ref calls goaltending, and then the very next game you do the exact same move, exact same situation, and the ref doesn't call anything, that's normal, because refs are human beings just like we are. So it's all a judgment call. We want the referees to be as consistent as possible, but just like players, a referee is not going to be exactly perfect and exactly the same every single day. So one move where somebody does a push off like that and they don't get called for a foul, and then you try to copy it, you get called for a foul, that's just the judgment of the referees. That's how it goes. So anytime a referee makes a call that you don't agree with, here's what you don't do. Don't throw the ball, don't yell, don't make faces, don't make a show of it, because when you make a show of it, you're showing up the referee, and the referee notices that. And at that point, you're putting yourself further and further away from that referee to get any type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Any type of, if you want to get the benefit of the doubt in some situation from a ref, even though they're supposed to be completely objective and impartial, referees are humans. So even though that's what they're supposed to be, we all know that it's not, right? We know that every basketball team, when there's a tryout, the coach should be impartial and pick the best players, but sometimes the coach might pick a player that he might like a player a little bit more than he likes another player. So two players are close in skill, he only got one spot left, and he personally likes this guy more than that guy might get the job over him, just because we are all humans. So no human is a robot. No human is exactly the same from situation to situation. What that all means is referees make judgment calls. So they might call one thing a foul, and then they see the same thing or what you consider to be the same thing, and they don't call it the same way. What you do is when play stops, maybe during a timeout, after a timeout, before a timeout, during a free throw, talk to the referee and say, hey, I thought that play was normal, or ask them, hey, you called a foul on me. What did I do wrong? How can I do that without getting called for a foul? What was it that I messed up on? Why did you call that a goaltend? What did I do wrong that made that a travel? You have to approach people in a way that they don't feel like you're confronting them. Because if you ever you come at a person, even a referee, in a way that they sense that you're confronting them or that it's you against them, you're putting them in a defensive position. And when a person is defensive, it's hard to get through to them, right? Y'all understand that even in real life, when you put a person in a defensive position, even any of you yourselves, whenever you're feeling defensive, you don't want to hear nothing that other person is saying. But when a person comes at you in a friendly way, like we're working together, I just want to ask you a question, get some information from you, or I want to share something from you, you're more open to listening to them, and you're more likely to work with that person and at least give them some information that they can use. So the referee is a human being. Even though they got on the striped shirt and they got the whistle and they might have did something crazy, understand that that's a human being under that uniform, and you approach them the way that you would want to be approached. You might be able to get some information from them. So even if you're talking a pickup game and somebody calls an offensive foul on you because you did this, that, and the third, I know in pickup is different because you got all different types of personalities. You never know how somebody's going to respond or react. You just got to roll with it. I mean, basketball is basketball. Everybody in life is not going to agree with you. Everything's not always going to go your way. If you got game, in the end, it will be clear you're the better player. So just keep playing. Next question. Naya Mukasa says, Dre, I just watched the D-League experience video that I posted a while back. He says, I'm wondering if I think coach or scouts, excuse me, also look for players who are able to create his own shots, or a player who's able to do the fundamentals. Well, Naya, a player should have both. So a player who can create their own shot probably has good fundamental skills. So you should have both. By the time you're able to create your own shot, you're building your abilities to create your own shot come from a fundamental base. So the soil weight is the fundamentals, and the tree grows out. Those are the skills that allow you to create your own shot. Next question. Ball is my life says, Dre, you are great at basketball because to make a mixtape, a person has to be good. Well, thank you, Ball is my life. I agree with you. Next question. Craig Steele says, Dre, do you have any tips on getting exposure? By the way, I'm a freshman in high school. Yes, Craig, I do have tips on getting exposure. Here's the number one, the first and last tip on getting exposure. Be a good player, because when you're a good player, people will expose you because you're being exposed to every single thing you do. This video right here is exposure for me. You might not think, I'm not trying to get people's attention. I'm just making a video. But guess what? Somebody's watching this video right now who's never heard of me before, and they're being exposed to me. And when you, players out there, Craig or anybody else, next time you go play basketball, if any person in the gym sees you, you're being exposed to that person. Even if they've seen you 1,000 times before, you're being exposed to them for the 1,001st time. Every single thing you do, you're getting exposure. So it just matters what you're doing with your exposure. Are you performing or are you not? You're a freshman in high school, Craig. If you perform as a good player at a high level for 4 years, good things are going to happen to you. If you perform as a bum, it'll be less things that happen to you. So you go out and do what you're supposed to do your job, which is be good, get clear on what it is you want. Get clear on what you want. As I said before, just saying I want exposure is not clear. What is it that you want? Because you already have exposure. When you walk out of your house and somebody glances at you from across the street and keeps walking, guess what? That was exposure right there. It's just a matter of, did you get that person's attention, if that's the right person, and what kind of attention did you get from them? What is it? What impression did you make on that person based on what they saw? So this could be in the street, this could be a conversation, this could be with your teachers, this can be on the basketball court. You are making an impression on people. Every single thing you do is just a question of what impression are you making? So everyone has exposure. So when people ask me, how do you get exposure? You already got it. It's a question of what you're doing with it. Next question is Abdul Rahman Salim says, my question is, how can I dunk if I can grab the rim? I can hold the rim, but I can't dunk. I'm 5'9" now. Could I help him? Well, Abdul, I can't actually pull you up, throw you up to the rim and make you dunk it. So I can't help you that way, but I can tell you how to help yourself. What you can do is get the free vertical jump workbook that my guy Jacob put out. That's at dreallday.com/JM. I'll put that down here, or maybe an annotation up here. And also you can get the jump manual, the full program, which is dreallday.com/jump. dreallday.com/jump. But if you go to either link, you'll be able to see the workbook and get that information. That will help you help yourself to jump higher, because that's what you really want to do. You want to help yourself. You don't want me to help you. You want to help yourself. Next question is I'm True Skills. Says, do you have any tips on starting a basketball channel? Yes, I got one tip on starting a basketball channel. Record a video and post it. And then do that over again, and then do it again, and then do it again. And there you got a channel. Next question. Vladimir1 says, what's the best gift you ever received pertaining to basketball during the holidays? Sneakers, shorts, etc. Have a good new year. Well, thank you, Vladimir. You too. I don't think I've had anything in particular that would stand out that I would think of as far as shoes, ball shorts, things. Shoes, ball shorts, stuff I buy my own. I don't want nobody buying me that type of stuff as a gift. I like to pick my own stuff. Next question. Flying Badger did post a different question, but Flying Badger, we do one question a piece. As you can see, there's a lot of questions here. We want everyone to be addressed. Next question, but you can post that next week if you got another question. Dewan Adams says, I was wondering, I'm a sophomore in high school. I'm doing track for the whole year. I'm thinking of playing basketball next year. I'm not that good because I had to improve on everything. Do I think it's too late to start a basketball during my junior year? Also, can I suggest what programs he can do to improve everything? Well, first of all, Dewan, a question of too late is another one of those relative things, like better, or is it good, or is it too late, is it too soon? I can't judge that for you. For me to tell you what's too late would be incorrect. You had to decide if it's too late for you. So if it is too late, if you think it's too late, then it is too late. And if you think it's not too late, you think the timing is perfect, then the timing is perfect. So you had to decide whether it's too late or not. Again, get clear on what you want. Asking if it's too late, it has nothing to do with what it is you want. What is it that you want to accomplish? Once you're clear on what you want to accomplish, it will be easy to make decisions. So you need to figure that out. What is it that you want? You can't get that from a YouTube video or a blog post or Facebook. You got to sit and think about it. What is it that you want? Once you figure that out, all these questions will be easy to answer. His other question was, what program can he do to improve on everything? Well, first of all, we got to go right back. What is it that you want to get better at? Don't tell me everything, because any player can get better at everything. I can get better at everything, but when I go to the gym, I can't work on everything at the same time. I got to figure out what it is I want to do. Do I want to work on a one dribble pull-up? Do I want to shoot threes? Do I want to work on post moves? Do I want to work on conditioning? Do I want to shoot free throws? Do I want to do some ball handling drills? What is it that you want to get better at? Figure that out. Start with 3 things you want to get better at. Once you know what 3 things you want to get better at, go to hoophandbook.com and we got programs for it. And if you're still confused at that point, you can email me and I'll tell you which programs that'll work on those 3 things. But you got to be clear on what you want before you ask me what you can work on. Next question. It's on says, do you have a girlfriend / do you get a lot of girls? Well, yes, I am taken. Next question. Sirac Abraham says, who's the kid that says DreAllDay.com and started your videos? Her name is Micah. That's a female. It's not a boy, just in case anyone was wondering. I actually posted a picture of her in one of my Work on Your Game shirts on Instagram. My Instagram is Dre Baldwin, probably a year or 2 ago. But anyway, yeah, that's her. Next question is Basuli15 says, I'm 13 years old and I play in multiple basketball leagues in my town. One of them is a rec league. It's not really competitive. My team this year isn't that good. I'm having trouble balancing keeping my aggressiveness and trying to be nice and give everyone else their touches. This wasn't a problem at first. Now I'm stuck slowing down my game to accommodate for theirs, which is negatively affecting me. What are my thoughts on this issue? What do I think he should do? I think you should, I'm not really big on telling people what they should do, but based on the way you described it, is you should play your game. If you're the best player, you play your game and do your thing and force your teammates to step their games up so that they get to your level. If it's obvious you're the best player, you playing down to them is not going to make anybody better. It's going to make everybody pretty much stay the same and or get worse. It's making you get worse. So what you should do is play your game to the fullest, and if they can't handle it, then either you'll have to find a new team or they'll have to find a new team. But at best case scenario, they'll start stepping their games up so that they don't see themselves down here while you're up here. But if that's your game, that's your game. Do your thing and make them rise to your level. That's what a leader does. Next question. Kai Shin says, you have a great channel. I know your channel will continue to grow. Thank you, Kai. He says, I want to know if you have a free throw routine and what is it if you have one. Thanks for being a great source for basketball videos. You're welcome. Do I have a free throw routine? Yes, I do. I dribble the ball 2 or 3 times, spin it 1 time, and then shoot it, and then I make it. Next question. Tough Tanny says, have you ever dealt with being suspended by a team? No, I haven't. Next, 3 questions left. Chris Smooth Lover says, first off, your channel is great for fixing a problem. It helps a lot, and any problem you need to fix is easily accessible, so thank you for that. You're welcome. Now that my jump shot has almost no spin on it, although it does go in a lot, would changing it really make such a difference that it would be worth my time? Well, Chris, this is another one of those relativity questions. I can't determine what is worth your time because the only thing that any of us owns is our time. So I definitely can't tell you what your time is worth. You have to decide whether it's worth your time to change your shot or not. And it might not necessarily be that you have to change it completely. It might just be a couple small details you change while still shooting the same way, just changing some details and get the shot that you want. If you are interested in getting your shot to rotate, I do have a video on that, and it's called hand placement on the ball when shooting. So just search hand placement and my name, or just search hand placement on my channel. You'll see that video. Next question. Ricky Gutierrez says, how long is your wingspan? Wingspan, for those who don't know, is when you stretch your arms all the way out. I'm 6'4" in height. My wingspan is about 6'7", 6'8". Ty Breezy says, why are you in a Heat uniform in your intro? What intro? That's it, everybody. Thank you for the questions for this week's Q&A. If you want your question to be addressed in the next Q&A, you leave it in the comments to this video. One question per commenter, please. And please don't respond to anybody else's comment, even if you think you have the perfect answer. That's it. WOYG.net is where you get all your gear, such as this, and work on your fucking game hat. What else? hoophandbook.com is where all your workouts are covered. Amazon and iBooks is where you can get all of my books, and also the Hoop Handbooks. If you want to get Hoop Handbooks on a Kindle or iBooks, you can get them through those stores, and you can also just get it from hoophandbook.com. That's it, everybody. Thank you for the questions. It'll be 2015 next time we meet. Everybody have a happy new year. Don't drink and drive. Say no to drugs. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. Thanks for checking out this video. Make sure you follow all my top content up here. Follow me on all your favorite social networks right over here, and make sure you are subscribed to catch all the new content I put on this channel every single day. Work on your game.